If you're serious about making music, I mean really serious, whether it's first chair, marching band, or just mastering a ridiculously hard solo, you already know practice is everything.
It is, but here's the thing.
What's that?
The best musicians, the ones who really achieve mastery, they don't just practice. They treat their bodies like a high-performance machine.
Exactly. We need to just get rid of this idea that musicians are sitting still.
Right. If you're holding a clarinet or standing with a cello, or you're focused on a piano for hours at a time, that is physical labor. You are basically an athlete.
And an athlete who skips the warm-up is an athlete who's heading straight for an injury or just burnout.
For sure.
So today we are going to break down the essential maintenance routine for musicians. Step by step. This is the pre-practice routine that prevents injuries, boosts your stamina, and this is the big one for a lot of you. It makes playing that fast technical music way easier to nail.
Think of it as your cheat code for better playing.
Totally.
Yeah.
So where do we start?
We're starting where most musicians forget to start. The core, your foundation. If your posture is shaky, everything else is going to suffer. Your hands, your breath, all of it.
Right. When you lock into position with an instrument, you're holding tension in some really big muscle groups.
Huge muscle groups. And they need a wake-up call before you ask your fingers to do all that fine motor control stuff. So let's get the blood flowing.
Okay.
First, a massive stretch for the upper body. I want you to reach both arms high up, right toward the ceiling.
Okay, I'm doing.
You should feel this along the sides of your body down into your ribs, like you're trying to pick the highest piece of fruit off a branch.
The fruit picking stretch. I like it. I can feel that pull right down my torso.
Good.
But wait, if I'm short on time, can't I just, shake my arms out? Why this whole big stretch?
That's a great question. Shaking your arms out only really deals with superficial tension. This high reach, though, it engages the intercostal muscles, those are the ones between your ribs, and it gently stretches the lats in your back.
So you're telling your whole support system, hey, it's time to work.
Exactly that. You're firing up the main engine before you engage the smaller gears. Now, slowly let your arms drop and just give your hands and wrists a good loose shake.
Okay, that feels good.
What's next?
Shoulders. Roll your shoulders backward in a slow, wide circle. Do it a few times. The goal here is to actively open your chest.
Which boosts circulation to those big postural muscles.
Right. And that leads us straight to the foundation of all of this. Good posture.
Okay, so let's do the ultimate posture check.
Let's do it. We call this the pencil squeeze. So stand or sit up perfectly straight. Imagine a string is pulling the top of your head right up to the sky.
Got it.
Now slowly squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Feel that tension in your upper back, like you're pretending to hold a pencil perfectly still right between them.
Okay, holding it. And you hold this for what, 5 seconds? That's actually a real exercise.
It is. That tension is hitting a critical muscle group called the rhomboids. They stabilize your shoulder joint and pull your shoulder blades back. So when those are strong, you don't do that forward slump.
Exactly. No slouching, which means no back pain, no neck tension. You're strengthening the anchor point for your arms.
So hold for 5 seconds, then release.
Yeah.
Repeat that 10 times.
You got it. It makes a huge difference.
All right, let's move to a spot where musicians hold so much hidden tension. The neck.
Yes, and this is so critical because neck tension restricts blood flow to your head. That's a massive source of those focus-draining headaches you get in long rehearsals.
So how do we do this safely?
Very, very carefully. We're talking slow and deliberate movements. Only start by slowly tilting your head toward your right shoulder, just until you feel a light, easy stretch. It should never be painful.
Hold for a few seconds, then back to the center and repeat on the left.
And don't forget the back of the neck. Gently tuck your chin down toward your chest. You should feel that release along the base of your skull.
Okay, here's the big safety tip, right?
The absolute non-negotiable safety tip: never, ever roll your head in a full circle.
Why not? I think people do that all the time.
Because when you do that, you risk compressing the small vertebrae in your neck. It can cause dizziness, sharp pain, even muscle spasms. We only use slow half circles, shoulder to shoulder.
Got it. So gentle neck work keeps us focused and headache-free. Okay, core and neck are ready. Let's send that energy down to the hands and wrists.
This is where we get specific about injury prevention. If you play strings or piano, really any instrument, you face the risk of repetitive strain injury, or RSI.
So we need to warm up the tendons. You mentioned tendon gliding before. What exactly is that?
Think of a tendon like a string moving inside a little tube or a sheath. If that string is cold and stiff, It creates friction.
And friction leads to inflammation and pain.
Exactly. Warming up the area helps the tendon glide smoothly inside that sheath. Better tendon gliding means no friction, no pain.
So what's the best stretch for that?
Okay, extend one arm straight out in front of you, palm facing forward like you're making a stop sign. Use your other hand to gently pull your fingers back towards your body. You'll feel the stretch in your forearm. Hold it for about 15 seconds. No bouncing.
Yeah, I feel that on the under side of my forearm. That's where all the control for gripping comes from.
Precisely. Now, point your fingers down toward the floor and gently pull the back of your hand toward you. That gets the top of the wrist. Then switch hands and repeat.
So once the wrists are flexible, we need to get into finger dexterity. This is about the brain-to-hand connection, right?
100%. Let's try an isolation drill. Place your hands flat on a table or even on your leg. Now lift each finger one by one.
The key is keeping the other fingers perfectly still.
Yes, it is much harder than it sounds.
But focus is what builds the neural connections, that communication highway between your brain and those tiny muscles. You're teaching your fingers to be independent.
Which is key for complex runs, and a great way to test that independence is to quickly touch each fingertip to your thumb in sequence. Index to thumb, middle to thumb, ring, pinky.
You know, when you do this, you might notice the ring finger is the stubborn one. It feels kind of disconnected.
That's a specific anatomical fact. The ring finger actually shares tendons with your middle and little fingers. It's structurally designed to move with them.
Ah, so it's not just me.
It's not just you. And practicing that drill helps you overcome that natural limitation. It makes your technique feel more effortless over time.
Okay, from the fingers up to the foundation of all sound production, breathing.
And this is not just for wind and brass players. Deep breathing is your #1 tool for staying relaxed and focused no matter what you play.
So we need to get away from that shallow chest breathing where your shoulders rise up.
Right, that's anxiety breathing. We need diaphragm breathing. Let's activate the engine room.
So how do we do it right?
Stand up tall. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Now, put one hand on your chest and one on your stomach.
Okay.
The hand on your stomach should be the only one that moves outward. That's how you know you're using your diaphragm correctly.
Stomach out, not shoulders up. Got it. And then you hold the breath for a couple of seconds. Why the hold?
That slight pause just maximizes oxygen transfer. Then exhale really slowly through your mouth, like you're blowing through a tiny straw. Aim for a count of 6 or 8.
That controlled release of air is huge for wind players. It helps you manage long phrases and get a really consistent tone.
It is, but it's also a powerful tool for your brain. That slow, deep breathing actually stimulates something called the vagus nerve.
Okay, what does that do?
Activating that nerve tells your body's rest and digest system to calm down. It is the fastest, easiest way to reduce nerves before an audition.
So breathing isn't just for air, it's basically mind control.
That's a great way to put it. Now, from the lungs to the face, wind and brass players have to warm up the embouchure.
Which is the fancy word for the muscles all around your mouth.
Exactly. The best way to wake them up is to start with a gentle lip vibration, a buzzing sound, like a lip trill or a motorboat.
Right. It's a low-resistance way to get blood flowing to the lips and cheeks.
And we need facial stretches, too, to prevent cramping. So you can do this in private if you want, but make exaggerated shapes. Go from a huge, wide smile to a tight little O shape.
I can feel that stretch.
Yeah.
And that flexibility is what gives you a wider range of notes, right?
A wider range and better dynamic control. The ability to go from super loud to a soft whisper. It all comes from a flexible embouchure.
Okay, what's the safety tip here for wind players?
If your face muscles get tired, stop. Just stop. Take a quick break. Gently massage your cheeks. Do not compensate by pressing the instrument harder against your lips. You'll just damage the tissue.
We've covered the whole physical chain, but now let's talk about the most overlooked part. Warming up your mind.
I'm so glad you brought this up. Warming up your brain is just as important as warming up your rhomboids. We recommend taking 5 minutes for quiet, focused mental rehearsal.
But what do I actually visualize? Am I just staring at the sheet music in my head?
No, it's more than that. Close your eyes and run a perfect mental movie. Visualize the flawless execution of that tricky part you're working on. Imagine the beautiful sound you want to make. Picture the effortless feeling of your fingers moving exactly how they should.
I remember trying that for the first time and it felt a little silly. But it's not just daydreaming, is it?
Not at all. You're pre-programming your motor skills. You are preparing the neural pathways for concentration before you even make a sound. It also helps reduce anxiety because you're shifting your focus from a fear of failing to the execution of a success you've already practiced in your mind.
What if someone listening, maybe a 13-year-old with a million things on their mind, says, I can't focus for 5 minutes, my mind just races?
That's completely normal. Start with 2 minutes and pair the visualization with your deep diaphragm breathing. Use your breath as an anchor. When your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the sound and the feeling of success.
A calm mind leads to a calm, productive body. Okay, so body is stretched, hands are ready, breath is controlled, brain is focused. Now we can finally play. But we don't just jump into the hard stuff, right?
Absolutely not. The transition is key. The very first thing you should play is slow scales and long tones. This is your quality control check. Do not try to play fast.
So the focus is on clarity, consistent volume, making sure every note is perfectly in tune. We're testing all the work we just did.
That's it. This slow transition bridges the gap between resting and performing. It lets your warm tendons and fingers sync up with your brain without high-speed stress. And honestly, this is the secret to eventually playing super fast, difficult music with total control.
You build the control when you're going slow.
You build it slow.
Okay, we've covered the entry ramp. We have to talk about the exit ramp, the cool down. So many of us just drop our instrument and run.
And that is a huge mistake. Cooling down is just as important as warming up. It lets your body release all the tension that built up during practice.
If you skip it, those tight muscles just stiffen up, and tomorrow's warm-up is way harder.
Precisely. So, to cool down, finish your session by playing something very easy and slow. Maybe a simple ballad, something to settle your heart rate.
And then repeat a few of those gentle arm and neck stretches from the beginning. Shake out your hands one last time.
Yes, and hydrate. Drink a big glass of water right after you finish to help your muscles recover.
What about the mental cool down?
The last step. Take just 1 minute to reflect. Don't judge yourself. Just notice something that went really well and identify one specific thing you want to work on next time. That closes the loop.
So remember, caring for your whole body, your core, your hands, your lungs, and your mind. That's what gives you the stamina to play brilliantly for years to come. You have to make that routine non-negotiable.
Treat your instrument like your partner and your body like your engine. Good luck with your studies.